Hey everyone, welcome to Living in the Question podcast. I'm Sadie.
I'm Maddie.
And I'm Sadie.
Yes, thank you. I love it. Yes, we have Sadie back. It's a double Sadie day. Yeah, this is Sadie Olson. She actually has been on a few episodes in the past. So go look those up because they are so great. And we just love having conversations with Sadie because I feel like you just bring a wonderful mindset to the picture. Like you just bring this like positivity and radiance to the conversation. And yeah, we want to talk with you today about this specific topic.
Gosh, thank you. I love coming on and chatting with you guys. It's always just so fun hanging out. Happy to be back.
We are glad to have you back. And Sadie's showing up with a whole new look. She's looking so cute. She just chopped her hair, bleached it platinum blonde, and just radiating this beauty and honestly this new energy. We were chatting a little bit before about like how she came to cut her hair while she's in Bali. I'm just loving it. Kind of associated it with the astrological new year. If you want to share a little bit.
Yeah, I did a post about this, but if you want a quantum leap, you just need a fresh start. It doesn't have to be chopping off all your hair, but like changing something really dramatically in your external, especially on you. Think about when everyone's gotten a tattoo before, or you've dramatically changed your hair, or think about when you were a kid and you rearranged your robe and you were like high on life, like you felt like a new kid. Our self-concept is everything. I was in Bali for 5 months last year. I got back here and I was like, I'm a different person now. I'm a different person. I'm ready for a new era. I was doing a meditation. I saw myself with this hair and I was like, all right, bet, let's do it. And it divinely timed with the astrological new year and the spring equinox. And I was already working on continuing education, reworking some of my programs, and there's just all this new stuff happening in my life behind the scenes that's about to be brought into the world. And it just felt, yeah, of course I'm cutting my hair off. Of course I'm bleaching it. Of course I'm going to just be a new person on the outside as much as on the inside.
You saw it. You saw yourself with that hair. That's so beautiful. And you went for it. I feel like a lot of people hold back from just going for things like that are so drastic, like such a drastic change. And I think it's a good example of that.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so today we're going to start with our awareness check-in. And yeah, do one of you guys want to go first?
I can, because I want to just riff on what Sadie was saying. That's exactly where my awareness has been. And I love that it so beautifully synced up with the spring equinox, with the new astrological new year. But I'm feeling this newness, this influx of like new change, like excitement about what can be and what I'm going to make of myself. And so it's interesting too, because it also aligns with Aries season and just like igniting that fire. And I'm feeling it in so many ways. Like I suddenly want to exercise. That's not common for me, but I'm just feeling this like kind of fiery passion and this desire to light it up all on fire and just start anew. I also am a Scorpio, so the phoenix is our sign, like a symbol of Scorpios. And I do feel that. I do feel let's burn it down and rise from the ashes. And just, I've been doing that, of making these changes in my life, but I'm ready to start stepping into it more fully.
I've seen the meme of the little girl with the like smirk on her face and there's a burning building behind her.
That's me.
That's Madison's vibe for Aries.
Yes, it is. I'm ready.
And it's such like an Aries Scorpio smirk, like the little like mischievous, like you don't know what's going on here, but this is for the highest good.
It is. And that's how it feels too. Sometimes I have a tendency to be like, I just want to change everything. And it comes from a very chaotic place, but it doesn't feel that way right now. It's okay. This is for my highest good. This is me stepping into my purpose and into who I really want to embody in the world rather than what's practical or what has, oh, this is along the lines of my degree or whatever. I'm like ready to just really step in.
Well, I can go next because I feel like mine is along the same lines. So I love that. We're in the similar spaces right now. So I just have been aware that first that I want to connect more with my body. So it's interesting you said that, Maddie, because me too. Like I'm having this urge to do yoga and just stretch at the most random of times throughout the day. And I'm just like taking the opportunity to do it. Even if I'm at work and I'm like sitting at a desk, I'm like, all right, it's time. Like my body needs this. I feel like I'm just connecting more with my body. And also simultaneously, I'm so aware of each relationship and connection that I have and what they're doing for me. is this fulfilling me? Do I see myself like continuing to foster this connection, or am I ready to just let that go and not waste so much energy on people who aren't giving that back to me? And I don't know, I'm just so aware of specifically the relationships. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this gets me, but I'm feeling good about it, and I feel like it is for my highest good as well. I think I've spent a lot of my time throughout my life just doing things for other people and forgetting about myself. And it feels really good to come from this place of, no, I know who I am. And is this working or is it not? It feels really good.
I love that. It's Aries season, which personally, I don't know if it's my Aries moon, but it's my favorite season. I feel so freaking alive during Aries season, like so creative. I can do anything. I wish it was Aries season all year round. We need all of the energy of all the zodiacs.
Yes.
They're all good, but I'm like Aries season, I'm just like chaotic in a good way. But I love what you both are talking about too, because it's about to be eclipse season. So like the full moon lunar eclipse is coming up on, I think it's the 25th, so in a few days at the time of recording. And then we'll have the solar eclipse 2 weeks after that. And eclipses have a way of just yanking out of our life what's not meant for us. They're very like, they're gonna bring you back. And sometimes that's chaotic. It's always for our highest good. And so I feel like you both were talking about just feeling so grounded in like, all right, like if things need to burn down, things need to be like taken out of my life, like I'm grounded in that. I'm okay with it. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean it's going to be comfortable, but that's so the energy. It's amazing how we're all just so, that's what I love astrology. And it's not a way to predict our lives. It's a way to be like self-aware and make the most of the energy we're in. Okay. So my awareness check is I've just been like really, and this is always a practice, but even more so lately, just being so like wildly present and like aware of, I've been really tuning into nature, and I'm in Bali. It's lush green. There's like a bamboo forest outside of my front door. So when I walk out, like bamboo is like it grows it's like the fastest growing thing. It's so lush here. And like every day when I'm like walking to the beach to have my breakfast, my $3 breakfast at the beach. I love Bali. I've just been so like, I'm like trying to look at every single leaf and look at every single petal on every single flower and being like so present and so aware of the perfect abundance and the perfect magic that like is our universe. Like it's so easy to get caught up in like life is lifing, and that's part of the point. We came here to be human, to experience the full spectrum of it. We're not here to be blissed out all of the time, but like no matter what's going on, relationships are changing, work isn't going well, business is up and down, whatever, we can always go stand outside and be like, holy shit, this world is perfect, regardless of the imperfect mess that it is to be a human. And I just feel like that's brought so much magic and ease and surrender into my life too, where I'm just like, all right, like that didn't work out, but look at this tree. That's amazing. How can I be upset about this? How can I waste energy on that when that exists? I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna put my head down. I'm gonna figure it out. But like, how can I sit in here and feel sorry for myself when this exists? So I've been in my like kind of poetic clouds girl era, I feel like, since I've been back here, just really practicing presence and the art of noticing everything good that's around you, regardless of personal stuff, business stuff that is sometimes sticky, whatever, not going perfectly. It's all right, I'll figure that out. But look at this world that we live in. Oh my God, this is crazy. That's my awareness check.
I just feel like I can breathe when you talk about that. Like I had to take, oh yes, like that kind of presence is what it's about.
Specifically related to
Yeah.
nature as well, because I also like yesterday just took a walk and I was just whimsying around my neighborhood and just looking at these crazy plants and the spirals within them, and you just keep going deeper and there's so much detail as you, but I think it's an easy way to connect with, there is so much good, and that abundant mindset. For me, nature's always been that, because sometimes it's okay, I want to practice gratitude, but I can't even think of what I'm grateful for, like when you're in those spirals. But
yeah,
I also think nature is such an amazing tool, and we are so lucky to be surrounded by that and that example from Mother Nature. So I love that. I want to encourage everybody to spend some time outside, especially in the spring. I'm sure a lot of people are, but there's just so much to take in. Whether you're looking at one single plant that is a flower, it's got flowers within it. It is that interconnectedness to everything, and that makes life worth it. that simple fact and that
Yeah.
simple knowledge.
Exactly. Yeah. Nature is like literally healing. It literally heals our body. I was thinking, I keep joking, but back in the day, they used to like, doctors used to be like, you need to go to the sea to like be healed, and people would get better. People, like, that was like really a thing. They were like, oh, we need to, and then they were like, I don't know. I read a lot of historical fiction books when I was a kid, and they were always getting sent off to the sea, and then they would like heal. It's like, and grounding, all the studies on just being barefoot or like literally hugging a tree. If you can't be barefoot, if the ground is still frozen where you are, but like putting your hands on a tree does the same thing. Like it's all there, right? Like it's all available to us, the healing, the magic, the presence, the abundance. Like I don't know, I just feel like going outside and practicing that art of noticing can really like shift, heal so much in our life. Anytime I'm feeling anxious, if I just go collect some seashells or literally look at my rock collection, I'm like, I feel better now. Nature's amazing. I'm fine.
Well, there's like that slowing down. We're so lucky to live in this beautiful world. It makes me think, what more could I need? I have all this beauty around me. So it doesn't feel like I'm focused on like where I'm lacking in my life or where what I haven't accomplished yet. It's like I don't have to because I'm existing here and I'm appreciating it.
And exactly. And that energy of appreciation and that energy of abundance is then going to circle back and help you feel more creative, help you feel more inspired. And then guess what? If it's your finances that are stressing you out and making you feel scared, or if it's relationships and not being open to receiving the love you desire or whatever it is, like all of that, it all comes together and it all starts opening up and it all starts getting better when you can tap into that energy of I have everything I need. I appreciate, oh my God, like I live in such an abundant universe and it's all interconnected. Like you want to make more money, go spend more time out in nature and feel like the like richest person alive just by like noticing the magic that's out there. It's gonna inspire you. It's gonna ignite like creativity in you. We were gonna talk about luck today. It's gonna have like those magic moments come into your life because you are in a completely different energy than sitting at home poring over the things that are stressing you out. Those actions are important too, to analyze and rationalize. That part of our brain is good, but oh my gosh, like we can completely transform our life just from these simple practices and open ourselves up to material abundance too in our life.
Yes, on luck, which is what you said, and we are going to talk about that today. So we're super excited because this just came about just so randomly and we didn't plan a lot. We're just like, you know what? Let's just see what happens when we talk about luck and how each of us feel. So initially, when I asked you that question, Sadie, I just told you that what we wanted to talk about was how to increase our luck and get more lucky in life. What did you feel? Like, what's your first instinct to that question?
So to me, like when I think of luck, it's interconnected. It's going to be like the same energy as success or the same energy as abundance, like we were just talking about. If we want to be more lucky, and we know that in order to manifest and that our outer world reflects our inner world, then we have to see ourselves first and foremost as a lucky person, right? I loved when Lucky Girl Syndrome went viral on TikTok. I think it's still around, but I was like, oh my God, yes. Or like being Delulu is this Delulu, right? All of these like little things. It's when you see yourself, if you are affirming to yourself, I am the luckiest girl in the world. I am the luckiest girl in the world. And you actually have your energy behind that and you see yourself as that, then your outer world can't help but reflect your inner world. And so whether you want to think of luck or as seeing yourself as successful or seeing yourself as abundant, I feel like it's all like a very like similar vibration, a similar frequency that we can tap into. But if we want to be luckier, it really is us believing, looking in the mirror and seeing a lucky person. And I was thinking about, I don't know, on my YouTube, I get this ad all of the time from Mind Valley. You guys know Mind Valley?
Yeah.
Have you seen these ads? There's a bunch of, I don't know, there's a bunch of manifestation, meditation. It's this woo great thing, membership. But one of the ads is always starts talking about Helen Hadsel, and she's like the luckiest woman in the world. And she wins every contest she's ever entered. Cruises, homes, cars, like raffle, like silly, just like anything she enters, she always wins. And they're studying this woman. They're like, how is she doing this? This makes no sense. And the ad goes, it's like a 40-minute ad. I watched the whole thing multiple times because I'm fascinated by Helen Hadsel. But she basically, the way she tapped into all of this luck is through the Jose Silva mind control method. It's basically just a way to self-hypnotize yourself and change your self-concept. So there's many avenues through which we can change our self-concept, but it's a way to tap into our ability to have psychic ability, our ability to like literally like read thoughts, our ability to manipulate our external world. Helen had some, I think she was like the assistant to Jose Silva or something. I might be getting some of this wrong, but anyways, she practiced this. Through tapping into these different brain waves and changing her self-concept, she became literally the luckiest person in the world, winning every contest. She's just winning all these vacations left and right. She's just winning. I'm like, that's amazing.
I was just gonna say that I have a friend and he wins everything. Since I've met him, he wins not quite every single thing, but he's just so lucky. And I always have been like, what about you makes you so lucky? But I do think it's that he believes that he will be. He's been affirmed by these little moments. And now he just, each time he enters the giveaway or hopes that something will happen or needs a situation to work out, like he just assumes that it will.
Yeah.
And so it does.
Assumption is everything. Yeah.
I actually have the perfect quote that I wrote down that has to do with exactly what we're saying. So I want to say it. So I found this quote and it just says, it's from Henry Ford. And it says, if you think you can, and if you think you can't, you're right. That is so true.
Yeah.
It's we're saying you have to believe it, right? And affirm that, yeah, I can have this. But I think also just knowing that you can. That's a big part of the manifestation. Right? You can think that you're going to do it, but really knowing and feeling, oh yeah, I got this. I feel like that's so important too, right?
Yeah, like whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Like that, it's as simple as that. And it always comes back down. I'll say it over and over till the day that I die, but it's just the way we see ourselves. It's our self-concept. Do I believe I'm lucky? Do I believe I'm successful? Do I believe I'm rich? Do I believe I'm in a soulmate relationship and worthy of the healthiest whatever? Great, then you're right. And if you believe that you're unlucky, if you believe you're a failure, if you believe that everything is so hard for you, if you believe this and that and the other, you're right. It's always, it's like we have this thermometer, or like when you have like your temperature control in your home and you set it at a certain temperature. So you set it at, I don't know, like 72 degrees. And if it's really hot outside and you open a window, then that air conditioner is going to kick on higher so that it can help adjust the temperature in your home. This is us. Like you think about the lottery winner, all these stories of how they're worse off after they win the lottery because their thermometers or their whatever, they were set at this temperature and they opened the window and all this hot air came in. That's all the money and all the winnings, whatever. But their setting was here. That's all they could see themselves at. So they self-sabotaged and they made mistakes and they did irresponsible things until they're back to where they see themselves at. And so this is us with anything. And so we might have moments where we've gotten really lucky, where we're like, wow, I won this thing. But then we find ourselves back at our setting where we feel like less than, or we feel like we're not worthy of. Again and again, we do this. We might manifest a really amazing person into our life that we love and they're healthy for us. They care about us. They support us, but we're not ready to accept that kind of love. And, we're the ones fucking it up. That's because our thermometer is set at a certain thing, right? We're like little air conditioning units and we're always going to make sure we're coming back to the setting. So if we want to be luckier, if we want to be more abundant, if we want to have more love in our life, like we have to think about where's my setting at and how do I raise it so that I can invite more of it in. So I think it's fascinating because you can be lucky, but you'll get rid of that luck as fast as you can if you don't see yourself, if you don't accept that, if you don't see yourself as like worthy of that luck. It's so interesting to me to study these things.
And that's where I'm at in my life. I want to just raise that baseline. My baseline of existing, I want to be higher, a higher vibration, more excitement, more energy. And I know it's totally doable, which is exciting to me, but I think sometimes people feel a little daunted by it. I don't want to feel this way, but I don't know what to do to be different or to feel different. So maybe we could talk about that a little bit. Like, how do we cultivate this baseline where we can be more lucky?
Sometimes we dip below our baseline, sometimes we go above our baseline, but it's really about, we want to raise that up a little bit. And it's not about staying here all of the time, right? It's not high vibe only. But when we think about raising our vibration. And I want to tip the scale and spend more of my time up here and accept more good things in my life. And it's really, a lot of it is just the things that we were talking about in the beginning, like going out in nature and finding that feeling of abundance there. Our subconscious speaks in emotion and symbolism. And so an amazing way to raise our baseline so we feel good more of the time, so we feel abundant more of the time, so we feel more in love with ourselves and in love with life more of the time, is to create those emotions through visualization, through meditation, through scripting, through EFT tapping, through going on a nature walk and being super, super present, through listening to music that makes us feel alive and makes us feel empowered, like any of these things. Because our subconscious doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. And so if we teach ourselves, we're brainwashing ourselves. We're brainwashing ourselves to be happier and more successful and more abundant and luckier. That's all it is. We're brainwashing ourselves. And so when I work with a client, if they're trying to invite a higher level of love into their life, they're manifesting a divine partnership and they want to deepen their sense of self-love, I'm like, okay, I want you to move through the world being wildly, overly in love with everything. I want you to like go take yourself on a solo date, and I want you to be close to tears looking around and seeing the people interacting with each other and seeing the art on the walls. And I want you to like find that love in you for everything. I have chills right now. Like find like love for the leaves on the trees, right? Like we were talking about being out in nature. If you want to manifest more love in your life, be passionately in love with everything all the time, as much of the time as you can, right? If you're like commuting to work, my last muggle job, I always say I had to commute like an hour, sometimes an hour and a half both ways to this job, and I did not like being there. It was very draining. But this is when I started learning about manifestation, and I would listen to Hamilton. Shout out Hamilton, my favorite musical ever. And that's such like an empowering, and I would just be, I know every word now. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I'd be so hyped, right? I would be like, I feel like I don't like anything about my life right now. I feel like I hate this job. I feel like I'll never be able to figure out how to get out of jobs just like this one that drain me. I feel like I'll never figure out how to be traveling the world. I feel like I'll never figure out how to have a business. I have no idea what that business would be. But I'm going to figure out how to right here, right now, feel wildly in love with my life. And if that's listening to Hamilton for an hour and a half on my shitty commute, great. And I had the time of my life every single day. And my sense of self-love grew. My sense of abundance grew. And one thing led to another, and I got out of that job eventually and high from Bali running my dream business. But it starts with the day to day. If I want to manifest more abundance, more money, then I need to find abundance in everything I look. I need to do meditation or visualization. I need to do things that emotionally I feel like, wow, there is overflow in my life. Wow, if I want to be luckier, I need to like think about every little thing that happens to me and go, huh, that was lucky. Literally yesterday, I almost got ran over by bikers because I was like I was recording a TikTok, so embarrassing. And I was crossing over it and I heard the dinging, but it didn't register. And I almost got hit. They brushed up against me and I've been like, oh, no, I went, oh, that was lucky. Like it's being like the luck, right? Oh, that was lucky I didn't get hit. That could have been worse. Oh, that was lucky. Oh, this cute stray dog came up to me to give me a little sniff. Oh, that was lucky. Finding it everywhere, right? And it makes life so fun. It makes life so fun, even if you're not actually manifesting the money yet, even if the soulmate isn't in your life yet. It makes life so fun and worth living when you can just be like, oh, that was lucky. Oh my God, I'm madly in love with this tree. Oh my God, there are an abundance of cats and dogs as I go on my walk, and I get to say hi to every single one. We are so rich and we have so much love around us. And I know sometimes our personal lives don't reflect that, but the quickest way to change that and bring that into our life is moving through the world this way and finding the magic, the luck, the abundance, the love in everything. And it makes life really fun.
That's so true. I feel like when I'm in those mindsets of everything's good, looking for the good, looking for the positivity, being moved by little gestures or small acts between other people, that's when your life becomes more rich because that's what you're accustomed to. That's what you're noticing. That's what you're looking for and observing. You notice that even on Sadie and I love watching The Bachelor, but it's like the girls who would think maybe all of the cats and dogs were gross. And then the other ones that are like petting all the kitties, it's like, who do you want to be? We obviously like the positivity, right? So I love that. But I also wanted to comment on you saying you almost got ran over, because I read this quote that said, "You never know what worse luck your bad luck has saved you from." And that was by Cormac McCarthy. If you view life from that
Mhm.
perspective, everything that you experience is a lesson rather than just a failure or a hardship.
Mhm.
Everything is purposeful in this life. And if you start viewing it that way, I do think that increases your luck too. Because then you start
Yeah,
from
absolutely.
this more really abundant mindset.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
that just made me think too, just people who just get stuck in this one phase, right? Like you're just stuck in it and you just can't get out of it. Like the way to shift that is to go out and be in the world. And I feel like that's a big part of it too, like increasing your luck that way, going out and like creating luck for yourself by doing things that maybe you're uncomfortable doing. You can, like stuff like that as well. So that just made me think of that.
One of my favorite affirmations, that it's from Abraham Hicks, and she says, everything is always working out for me at any given point in time. And I repeat that to myself every single day. Everything is always working out for me at any given point in time, especially when times are hard, because for most of my life I was in a victim mindset. World is against me. This sucks. I'll never figure this out. Like other people, oh, I saw someone else's success and I felt, oh, they're so lucky. And it's, we create our luck, we earn our luck. I am very lucky where I'm sitting right now. I am so lucky, but I earned this luck. I created this luck. This was luck on purpose, right? I used to be so caught up in these negative thought loops constantly. And when you're in that, like all you can see is more things to prove you right, that life sucks and you have no power, and that other people are luckier than you, better off than you. It's poor me. And there might be truth to some of that. There is privilege in this world, there is disadvantages in this world, but there's also infinite examples of people who have not let those things define them and have defied the odds. And so I'm going to choose that every time. I'm going to choose to be extraordinary. I'm not going to settle for this mediocre shit of what you can, just simply that women make only 70% of the income of men. We can think about that as an example. Am I going to let that define me? Or am I going to be like, oh, that's the rules, I'll cap myself out here? No, there's so many women who are making a fuck ton more money than men. Great. Like that means I can too. And so it's, am I going to be a part of these numbers, or am I going to be someone that can defy the odds? Am I going to be someone that earns my luck? Am I going to be someone that looks for opportunities instead of more problems, right? Yeah, I feel like the most obvious example of when you think you're like, everything's going wrong and you have the worst luck or whatever is like, if you've ever been broken up with and you're just completely heartbroken and you're like, I cannot in a million years, this is my soulmate. They're so wrong for this. They don't know what they're doing. There's no way I could ever wrap my head around everything is working out for me at any given point in time. My life is over. And then we get a few years down the road and we're like, oh my God, I really dodged a fucking bullet there. Oh God, thank God. That was so lucky that they removed themselves from my life. Thank God. That's such a good example of a time when we're like, bad luck saves us from worse luck. I feel like we all have someone, whether it's a romantic partner, a friend, someone that did us wrong, where we're like, thank God, thank you, universe, for showing me. Thank you for taking that out of here. Like I could still be stuck in that situation. So I feel like that's a good example of a time when you're like, no, there's no way this is good luck. There's no way this is working out for me. And just wait, you'll see it.
You
Hard to see when
see.
you're in it, but
Right.
just having that, holding on to that energy, like when we're going through hard times, like it's a part of life. And when I can hold on to that, okay, but if everything is always working out for me at any given point in time and I can't see it now, like I'm just going to have the faith. I'm going to trust. I'm going to keep an open heart and open mind. And I'm going to tell my brain, find the lessons for me, find the opportunity, right? Instead of sitting in the poor me forever and ever, amen. We can have a poor me moment. It's important to process that. I'm not saying, I think poor me more often than I'd like to, but it's about tipping that scale and more of the time being in love and abundance, even when times are hard, choosing to believe that, okay, well, I'm the luckiest person in the world. So I might not see it now, but
Yeah.
this is definitely working out for me. So this or something better, right?
Or something in this for me, right? Like in this hard time. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
perspective. Like in this hard time I'm going through, there's something good in here for me, even if I can't see it right now. And yeah, a lot that we're talking about luck is mindset and keeping your mindset in a healthy place, right? An abundant place. I feel like it's all about mindset.
And I think when you reflect, you give yourself that opportunity to look back on the hard things you've been through. And it's like, dang, I learned a lot from that. Like, it's worth spending the time to reflect on things you thought you'd never make it through, because that builds your resilience and your belief in yourself. And it gets easier when you go through hard times, because you're like, I made it through that, and I made it through that. And the things I've been through now, just with time that has gone on, it gets easier to go through hard times now. Me at 31 versus me at 21 couldn't be more drastically different in the way that when something went terribly wrong, I truly thought life was over. I thought it had to be. I'm like, it has to be, because there's just no way through. But then there is. Building that resilience in yourself and allowing yourself to reflect and be like, oh, wait, there was good that came from that.
Right.
That's one of the most powerful practices you can do. This is actually a huge part of my signature program, Activate Your Magic, where we spend multiple weeks on this, where it's like digging into our life story. What's the story I have now, and how do I rewrite the story? And not rewrite it in a way to lie about it and be like, my whole childhood was rainbows and butterflies, right? Rewriting it from a new perspective, from an elevated perspective, rewriting it from the perspective of somebody who sees that, who sees opportunity, who sees lessons instead of just bad luck. It's the power of perspective is everything, right? Like, we could all go to, you guys just said you just went to a festival thing, right? That is so not my scene. Us three could go there together, okay? And then we could come back on here. Let's say I went with you guys, okay? And you're here and you're like, oh my God, from my perspective, I'm like, it was too loud. I'm sure I would have had a great time with you guys. But right, it's your perspective. It's your perspective. And so we can sit in the same seats at a concert, or we can go attend the same class at university, or we can be in these same exact situations, having the same exact experience, but we're having a completely different from the outside, but inside our perspective, our reality is completely different. We all have different stories of what happened, of how it felt, our experience. And so this is such a powerful practice to go back to do some time traveling. This is inner child work, right? But it's not just inner child, inner teen, young adult, going back to those pivotal moments in your life that you still carry with you and go, how do I rewrite this story? What's the truth here? Like, sometimes it can be as simple as, I don't know, like our mom or dad or caregiver, I don't know, they like put our baby blanket in the dryer and then now we have trust issues because of this little thing. We were kids, it was such a big deal. And if we travel back to that time and we rewrite that story and we go, my mom wasn't trying to hurt me, she was trying to do something nice for me, we can heal our sense of trust. That's like a silly kind of simple example, but there's so many times where something like, as adults we go, that was small, but as a kid it was so big.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be our challenge for this week, because that's beautiful. Thank you, Sadie. So I just wrote down like a quick thing is just to go back to the pivotal moments in your history and rewrite those stories. I think that is beautiful. So if you have any other tips about like how to sit down and do that, you just shared a bunch, but I think that should be our challenge, because I think that is like super transformative, and to shift your perspective and be like, oh wait, does that resonate with me anymore? Do I actually feel that way now? We actually talked about stories on our last episode, so this is perfect.
Our stories are everything.
Yes, and on that topic, I was saying last week how I'm someone who has always made self-deprecating jokes, and I like to laugh at my own expense, or to make someone feel comfortable, I put myself down or something like that. And I'm like, I'm done with that. I want to speak highly of myself. I want to speak highly of my life experiences. I have really cool life experiences. I've done a lot of really cool things, and I've been through hard things, and I came out like a more kind, compassionate person or whatever. So I do think that we can all work on our self-talk and the way we tell stories, whether that's about ourselves, about our family, about our history, about the people around us, or our experiences. Like, let's try to tell those stories from a place of love and compassion.
Yeah.
Because it feels better. Like,
oh my
when
God,
we're regurgitating a story about somebody and we're unkind, you walk away from that feeling filthy. You don't feel better because
Yeah.
you were gossiping or whatever.
Oh my God. When I first started on my manifestation journey, when I first learned about manifestation, I was still working that like last job that I mentioned. And I don't know, my whole life, I was joking around a little bit. I loved my sense of humor. I love cracking jokes with my friends. But I was like, so much of my humor was centered around self-deprecation, making fun of myself. Like, I mean, my friends would do that back and forth. I was like, I learned this, and it was just like, you can't, even as a joke, you can't say that stuff about yourself. And I was like, this was such a big part of my personality. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way. I won't be funny anymore. And being funny is a part of who I am. Like, and I had to relearn this, because even if you're saying something lighthearted, it's not really a joke, but if you're just always saying, ugh, like I'm so broke or whatever, I'm too broke for that or whatever, you're affirming that. Your subconscious mind hears that and it goes, okay, that's who we are. Let me not only point out more proof of that in your existence so you notice it, but let's create more reasons to make you more broke. Like, our subconscious mind is very obedient. It does what it's told. And that's very powerful. And it's also very scary, because if we have something shitty happen to us, we went through a breakup, or we had a bad fight with our significant other, and we're calling like 20 different friends and we're reliving that fight over and over, we might think we're blowing off steam. And yeah, it's okay to share it once or twice, but if you're doing that over and over again, you won't stop talking about it. Every time you do that and you tap into those emotions over and over again, that's a new experience. Your subconscious mind over and over again. And guess what? You're going to just keep fighting and fighting, probably over that same shit with that significant other again and again and again, because your subconscious mind is like, oh, this is what we think. This is what we do. This is who we are. And so we have to be so careful about those stories that we tell over and over again. We're being a part of gossip over and over again, if we're complaining constantly about the same things over and over again, our subconscious mind is, okay, let me create more things to complain about because you seem to like that. Let me point out more things for you to gossip about, more ways that, negative stuff in others, which is really a reflection. When we see that in others, it's reflecting things we feel about ourselves, truly. And that becomes really hard, because that's how we connect with people sometimes. We're making those jokes with our friends, right? Riffing back and forth, self-deprecating humor. Or at work, is all of us gossiping about the boss every day. But if we're doing that, or complaining about work every day, but if we're doing that, so bad for our brains, it's so bad for our energy. It's go outside and eat lunch by yourself if that's the environment at work. But like, we've got to cut out these habits of gossip and complaining and feeling like the self-deprecation and the feeling sorry for ourselves. And we have to replace that. We have to create a new habit. It's all habit. Happiness is a habit. Luck is all something that we have to program our mind for, brainwash ourselves for. And rewriting our story is a powerful part of being able to do that, and telling our subconscious mind, we actually see things that empower us now. We don't see things like this as disempowering anymore. And it goes, oh, okay, so new things that happen, I'm going to start seeing that from empowered place as well. So that's how the story helps us do that.
You said this is my luck on purpose, and I love that. So I kind of want to dive into that. Okay, we're talking about getting lucky. Let's do that. And how can people do that? I think there's like a lot of ways. We've talked about ways, of course, but what are some actions that people can start taking to start being more lucky in their life?
I would say, one, journal on, if I wake up tomorrow and I'm the luckiest person in the entire world, that is a literal fact. What's different about my life? Like, how do I know that's true, right? Is it the way that people respond to me? Is it the way that I feel? Every time I go to a coffee shop, someone buys my coffee. Every time I go to work, the boss says, you got another promotion or you got a bonus, right? Like, how do I know this is true? What is luck is going to like look different, feel different, be different to all of us. We all have different things that we'd like, be like, oh, that would be so like this is how I would know. Winning the lottery, whatever it is, right? How would I know? And then you're gonna want, like I said, this is the emotion is so powerful. So if you can tap into the emotion every single day of feeling lucky, and I would say if you can do this first thing in the morning when you're still sleepy, don't touch your phone, don't talk to anybody, just roll out of bed, get out of bed, roll out of bed, stumble over to a chair or sit on the ground, okay? And go into meditation and visualize yourself as the luckiest person in the world. Visualize yourself winning the lottery and what you would do with that money and how your life would be different. Visualize you walking into work and how people respond to you. Visualize yourself walking through a sort of mundane day to day, but what is different? What is different? People are complimenting you. People are offering you free things. There's always a parking spot for you when you go to the grocery store or wherever, right? And just do that. And it doesn't have to be for an hour every day. It can be literally set a 5-minute timer, set a 10-minute timer. Dr. Andrew Huberman said the ideal amount, like minimum for meditation, is 13 minutes. I set a 13-minute timer. He said that. I was like, great, 13 minutes. It is. And so now I do like a 22-minute guided one, but set a 13-minute timer. But if you're new to this, set a 5-minute timer. And for those 5 minutes, feel so excited, feel so lucky, see, imagine, feel the emotion of always getting the best parking spot, always getting your coffee paid for, always being romanced, always getting lucky, always being picked for the best projects at work, getting the bonuses, whatever. Your partner doing really sweet things for you, or bumping into sexy strangers and them taking you out on amazing adventures, whatever it is. And your energy, your aura is going to change. It's going to shift. And you're going to find that I can't guarantee you'll win the literal jackpot $1 billion lottery. But as you move through the world, you're going to laugh because that parking spot is going to be open for you. I have children now. The parking spot is going to be open for you. You are going to go to the coffee shop and someone's going to pay for your coffee. You are going to get different reactions when you walk into work. People are going to talk to you differently. People are going to notice a shift in your energy. You're going to glow from the inside out. And it starts here, like that you can measure our electromagnetic field, like from 4 feet away from us. They can measure this. And when you have done measurements like before and after meditation, and the way that the literal energy, our literal aura, like brightens, radiates, it's bananas. It's amazing. And it's so important to remember this when we're like, I don't want to meditate. I don't want to do these things, but like, it's literally magic. Our bodies are crazy. It's so cool. And so you will literally radiate this energy of luck, and people will walk past you and turn their head. People will smile at you. People will compliment you. And that's all going to continue to brighten and elevate you and raise your frequency. And like I said, I think luck is on the same like frequency of like abundance or success, or the word that you means a lot to you to tune into. The world can't help but respond. Just start your day before doing anything else. You don't have to have anything else in your morning routine. Spend 5 minutes a day doing this for 30 days. I challenge you to not have something magical happen. I would be surprised. I would be shocked if you didn't have something where you came back to me and you went, Sadie, oh my God, day 14, you won't believe what fucking happened to me. And I'll be like, I'm not surprised, but I am shocked. That's amazing. That's crazy. It never ceases to amaze me. And it's fun, and it becomes a game, right? It's like, how lucky can I get? How good can it get? How much can I make the world respond to my energy by playing with this? And if you're not a visual person, because I have clients that are like, I want to visualize. Visualization is very powerful if you can. If you're not a visual person, you can still do this. You can still use your imagination. You have other senses to tap into, right? If you can use your sense of hearing in your mind, emotion is the most important part. If you are just repeating the things that would happen, like telling yourself the story with your words in your mind and feeling the emotion, the excitement, that works too. But just sitting down and using your imagination to imagine yourself as the luckiest person in the world. Everything is always working out for you at any given point in time. You will be amazed. Do this for 30 days straight and tell me your life has changed. I'll give anyone who actually does it and is honest and does it for 30 days straight a minimum of 5 minutes. If you feel like I don't feel any different, I don't feel any better, and nothing magical happened, you come DM me and I will give you a free coaching session. You have to be honest.
Well, I want to do that. I want to spend the 5 or I'll probably do the 13 minutes because that's how I am too. But I want to start my morning like that.
Yeah.
Because I think when I'm just rushing off to work or rushing to my thing, I'm not having that intentional time for myself. And I want that. And also, you're so right. Like when I've felt lucky and when I've looked for that and when I've invited that into my life, I'm so lucky and it's so exciting. And it is like a game. Then I just feel like every little thing is just making me feel so good. But I was also thinking, my mom, we haven't necessarily talked about luck much, but one thing for her is she always gets the best parking spot. My whole life, my mom has always gotten the best parking spot, and she's just expected that. And I think, which is awesome. because she always did. But it's that expecting good things, maybe not a specific thing. And maybe it's better to keep it broad, but expect good things to happen for you, and they will.
Yeah, it's that energy of assumption, like the law of assumption. It's a universal law because that helps you detach from it. If I assume this about myself, if I assume that I am lucky and blessed, then I will, one, look for proof of that, and two, will invite more of it into my life. And so it's the energy of appreciation and assumption that right there will completely change your life.
I say that we do that challenge. And the day this episode comes out, we're going to challenge our listeners to do it with us. And we post on Instagram about how we're doing and ask how you guys are doing. And let's all communicate about how this challenge is going for us, because I think that's beautiful. And to do as a community, can you imagine the power in everyone just raising their vibration together? Like, that just makes me feel so excited. So we're doing that. And this episode comes out April 10th. So everyone listening, we're starting tomorrow and we're doing this challenge. I think that's so awesome. Thank you for that, Sadie.
Yeah, it's life changing. Sometimes I fall out of my like pristine morning routine, but it is really what has changed my life. And at the core of it, it's always been meditation. People have so much resistance to it. And I'm like, you guys know the things you have the most resistance to, it's because it's going to change your life the most. But it doesn't have to be, we don't have to be Tibetan monks meditating 23 hours of the day. That's not the vibe. We want to live our life. And so if you can wake up 10 minutes earlier to have a 10-minute meditation, like when you have resistance to that, remember the why. Remember the why. Write down your why. Because I want to be the luckiest person in the world, because I want to feel better. Like when I start my day, like picking up my phone and checking my notifications. Oh, how many views and likes and comments did my post get yesterday? What's in my emails? Even if there's good stuff, even if I posted good, even if I've got new signups in my program, right? I start my day with so much anxiety because I started off with these like false dopamine hits, and then I'm like constantly refreshing anymore. Whereas if I do my meditation, I like to do I have the luxury of, if I want to, I can spend 2 hours on a morning routine. I spend about an hour, but like do my meditation, I do my journal, wait as long as possible to touch my phone. And that right there, if nothing else changes, at least I'm just not anxious all day. That's great. That's all I need. That's all the incentive I need to meditate. I don't feel anxiety. Universe, you don't need to give me anything else. I just don't want to feel anxious. But it has it's what I give credit to everything. Building a business, leaving my job, being able to have the strength to go through big breakups, to start traveling, being a solo traveler, to invite new partnership into my life. I give all of it credit to the meditation. And that first thing in the morning, that's because it's going to waterfall into the rest of your day. Please don't do it any other time. The second you wake up, just don't even think about it. You're half asleep. Sit up and do it. You're going to feel so good. Please DM me, anyone listening, and tell me how fucking good you feel, because oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited for everybody.
Do you want to share how people can DM you?
Oh yeah, so you can find me on social media. My handles everywhere are at I am Sadie Olson. There are a few imposter accounts, so just make sure there's no extra periods, numbers, underscores. It's just at I am Sadie Olson, Olson is my last name. I'm starting a podcast called Rebel Witch, which, if this is coming out April 10th, my intention is that it's out by then. So come check out my podcast. I'll have to have the girls come on sometime, but the vibe is being motherfucking rebels against all of the bullshit that society puts on us, all of the stories in our own head that keeps us small. We're rebelling. We're rebelling against complaining. We're rebelling against scarcity. We're rebelling against the blaming. We're taking our power. And I really thought about the song by Devin Cole, Witch, being a woman in total control of herself. And so we're rebelling against anything that makes us feel like we're not in our power, that we don't have the power to create our dream lives. I'm very excited for this rebellion era that I'm about to enter with my podcast. I hope you guys all come listen. It's going to be Rebel Witch, and it'll be available everywhere. Go on my social medias for updates about that. And I have a membership, Alchemy Collective, that is getting a little bit of a makeover. And it's now going to be, it's a month-to-month membership, but it's going to run in 3-month programs meant to alchemize different areas of your life. So the first one is going to be 3 months dedicated to abundance alchemy. So we're going hard, we're going deep into shifting into an abundance mindset. And really, this is an abundance of love and joy and peace and inspiration and creativity and fulfillment in our lives. but the side effect of that being an abundance of cash money, because that's what happens when we have an abundance mindset. So I'm really excited to be doing that in my membership community. If anyone wants to come join us there, the Alchemy Collective. That's me. That's what I'm about. And thank you for having me. Once again, this was so fun.
Of course. Thank you for coming. It's always fun to have a conversation with you. And honestly, you are just so inspiring. Since I met you on our previous episode, I've just been following you, and I think that you're so inspiring and you radiate like this energy that I want to invite into my life. And so thank you so much. And I will be doing the abundance course. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I used to just have so much fear and scarcity and smallness, and it's taken a lot of work to feel big and feel. Thank you for saying the word radiant. That means so much to me. It's taken a lot of work to get here, and that's why I just want to dedicate my life to is how can I make it as simple and easy and as powerful as possible to share this magic with as many women as possible. Because this world is a better place and we've got like rich, abundant, loving, soulful, spiritual women running it, I think. So let's make that happen. And you guys are a part of that mission to sharing these podcasts every week. And it's just awesome to be in a space where we can support and uplift each other. So thank you. Thank you for your kind words.
And thank you to everyone who tuned in, because you are a part of that as well by caring and being a part of this spiritual community and trying to lift yourself up and continue to grow. Nothing but good can come from doing that. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And we will talk to you guys in a couple weeks. Bye.